All right, we're live, and no viewers so far. So as you trickle in, I will say hello to you guys. Feel free to use the chat window, and I'll be responding to that. Um, and of course, I just now got pop up here. So it's always the very minute that it starts, I start getting emails. Where do I sign up? So hang tight just a second. Pretty sure I got this saved. So while I'm doing this, just what we're going to be doing is getting into Splice.com. I'm going to be sourcing all my samples from that. I've already picked a few that I'm going to work with, but I'll just show you basically how it works. It's really cool for developing songs using just samples. It's like a massive sample library where you can pick one sound at a time. You don't got to like buy a whole kit. You just grab the sounds that you want. So that is very cool. Okay, let's see here. It's 10 o'clock, so we're going to get started real soon. Oh, hey, Gary. I just noticed that you said hello in the chat. So good to see you in there. Sorry I'm wasting some of your time right now. I'm just trying to answer a quick question. I had someone pop up on Facebook just asking me where this is, and I want to be accommodating, so. All right. And if you guys can hear me, please let me know. If you guys can hear me, I'm going to be doing a test sound in, actually, hang tight just a second. Let me put this on. If there's a little distortion in the vocal, I apologize. It had to do with the way that I set up the audio so that you can hear my screen. So, yeah. Okay. Let me do a little quick copy and paste job, and we will get started here. All right, cool. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Jason Timothy. I am a DJ and producer and Ableton trainer. I run a site called musicsoftwaretraining.com, and I've developed a process in music making that helped me finish 52 songs in 13 months after about a 10-year period of not finishing any music. So that is my goal in working with you guys is just trying to teach you how to finish songs. So there's a lot of trainers that go crazy into techniques, and they're very cool. The problem is most of the cool techniques that you learn, you're never going to use. That is just a fact. So you really need to figure out your particular style that you want to go for, and really figure out what sounds work for that and what kind of processes are necessary to make that work for you. And 80% of what you're going to do is copying, pasting, and duplicating. Anyone that tells you differently is trying to make it seem more complex than it is. So with that said, let me share my screen here, and let me say hi to some of the people that popped in. Got Barbara, Lock Groove, and Norm. So hey to all you guys. And if you got some questions, I'll be peeking. I'll try not to miss the questions, but you know, sometimes the scroll might go a little quick, so forgive me for that. Plus, I'm going to be working in Ableton, so let me share my screen real quick. And off we go into the tunnel. All right, so if you guys are able to see Ableton here, just let me know that you're able to see my screen and that I'm sharing the Ableton screen. Anyone? Anyone? Just yeah, just type yes or whatever in there if you can hear me and you can see the Ableton screen. Perfect. One person's paying attention. I like that. Thanks, Gary. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I just don't know how to get rid of these Facebook notifications. I've done everything I know how to do. That's a different story. So if you see little pop-ups, I apologize for that. So first thing I want to do is just, let's find some quick sounds here. Jesus. Let's see here. I'm just going to play some loops here and see if you guys can hear the sounds as I do this. That way I know that everything is working as it should. If you guys can hear that loop, let me know. If you guys can hear the loop that's playing right now, just put, I can hear the loop. Okay, perfect. So that will be helpful as we build our song. So before I get started, just to kind of save some of the boring process of making like a basic groove. Hey, everyone that's popping in. I put together just a very quick template here. Just created some tracks. This way you don't have to watch me go through a 30-minute process of setting up a template. Since I'm working from scratch, I'm not using any of my own samples. I will be, you know, basically starting from scratch. So with that said, let's get into it here. So I mean, I just basically made a quick 4/4 rhythm, nothing in here, snare rhythm. So once I get the basics set up, then I'll do some processing and stuff like that. All cool? So the next thing I want to do is jump over to Splice.com. And if you guys haven't been to the site, it's very cool. This is like having like, I don't know, 200, 300,000 sounds available to you. Basically what you do, you sign up, it's $7.99 a month, and each month you can download up to 300 sounds. And what's very cool about this is when you download your sounds, it'll actually pop it into this little device here where you can then go in and search the sound. So I want to search for bass. I've got this here, kick. These are sounds that I've downloaded previously, and I'll probably use some of them, but I just wanted to kind of get you guys into Splice a little bit. And there's some sounds that I still need. So go by style, which is great. And you can go by sound. So I can say maybe I'm looking for techno sounds. And as you can see, there's 452 packs that you can check out if you want to go to a specific one, or you can now search different sounds. So I can search, let's say, percussion. And let's see here. I should be able to, oh, I see, it's just going to pop it in drums. Or I can just go here, percussion. Here we go. So give it just a second to load, and that's a cool sound. So I'll check that. That's cool. So yeah, just I kind of like loops because I have more sounds to choose from, and I can kind of cut them up if I want, or I can use them as a loop or do a few other things. So yeah. Edgar, if it's freezing on you, then you want to basically reload the page. I'm pretty sure if it's not freezing for other people that it has to do with your internet connection, maybe you got too many programs running or something like that. So just refresh if you ever run into that problem. Plus, you know, technology is not perfect, so I apologize for that. Cool. I don't need that. Let's see. I like that just for the rhythm, even if the sounds aren't quite perfect. I'll maybe explain that why in just a bit. All right, so I'm just going to grab those. And as you can see here, I can download those 5 sounds. Boom. And then it downloads them to my sound library here, which is very cool. I'm going to search for maybe some drone sounds. Okay, cool. So a couple of you said that you're not freezing, which is cool. Okay, drone sounds here. It's not really a drone there. This is cool. I like the kind of drone area here in the middle. So I'll check that out. And don't worry, you're not going to stare at me for an hour just going through sounds. So I just kind of want you to get an idea of the process here. Cool. I'll grab that too. And we can always come back to samples and stuff here. So let's jump over and start our loop if you guys are all cool with that. Let's see here. Oh, let me jump back. Okay. So yeah, so I'll show you how cool this can be. So I made some empty drum racks here. So let me go through the different sounds. I can search here for my kicks. Let's listen to different sounds. That's a good sound. And literally I can take this and drag it right in. That's one really cool feature with Splice.com. And then I've got it. And I'll just continue. I'll grab that one there. I'll grab that one too. So I've got a few kicks to work with. And you know what I'll do? I'm going to delete this kick number 2, and I'm just going to duplicate this, make it easier on myself. I can manipulate the kicks a little differently. So this will be kick 2. You guys all seeing me all right? Linda, no problem that you're late. We just went into Splice.com and picked some of our samples. So I'm not sure if you saw that or not, but we're just getting started. And snares and claps. So I hope you guys don't mind that I decided to download some of these in advance. I just thought it would speed up the process instead of you watching me search for all the sounds. You guys basically know how to do that. So let's get a snare in there. Luckily, that's a good snare because I don't have many to choose from. And I could always find more at Splice.com, but let's work with that. That's fine. I'm not going to be too precious about everything. Clap. So let me grab the first one here and the third one. All right, awesome. And now we'll go into hats. We got 4 hats. I'm just going to drag those all in here to my hi-hats. I don't know if I can highlight all of these. I could probably show them in the Finder, but I'll just drag these one at a time. And once again, if you're hearing my voice and it sounds like a little scratchy or something, I apologize. It has to do with the audio setup that I had to do in order to allow you guys to hear my screen. Otherwise, you would be listening through a really crappy microphone and you wouldn't hear any of the low end or any of that stuff. So. and here. So this is why in my non-live videos that you will see editing and stuff like that in my video, just to cut out some of the BS part. I'm going to create a audio track here. For percussion, perc loops. And let's see if we can get some of those in here as well. Okay, this here, I'm going to put this over here in the drum loop area. And these I'm going to go ahead and put in my percussion area. Cool. So that gives me some sounds to work with there. Next thing is we'll go into some bass, and I'm just going to search for some sort of deep bass sound. You guys all with me? Thanks, Gary. See what we got here. I kind of like that. I'm gonna also add an audio portion for bass. Because I haven't quite decided what sound I'm going to use for bass yet. So that's pretty good. That might be good too as a layer. Now I'm not dropping these in as loops. I'm going to use just the loops. So I'm just going to kind of cut it up. I like one little part of that, so I'm going to grab that too. And I think this will be the sound I'm going to use on, so that's 16. I'm going to use that on my bass. So I've just loaded up a simpler instrument, and if you're wondering why I've got an operator, I'll explain that to you in just a sec. So let's drop that sucker in here, and we'll find the sound that we want. Even though I got the push, I'm just using my QWERTY keyboard here. Just that way everyone can relate, even if they don't have, you know, any of that equipment. Let me turn off the operator instrument. So I'm just listening to this. And for some reason, I'm not hearing it. Let me turn it up. Interesting. Not really getting the sound that I was going for inside here. It's probably because the pitch is different or something. Oh, yeah, that's probably exactly why. So I'm just going to go for this tone right here. Right. And now what I'm going to do is create a track here to resample. Is everyone with me so far? Alec, this is an hour long, right? Yeah, it'll be about an hour. Maybe a little bit longer. I mean, I want to get a few things done. Let's I'm coming over here and I'm setting this to resample, all right? And then I'm going to arm this as well. So this way, when I play, I can actually record the audio, right? And I'll explain why I'm doing that in just a second. But let's just record. Actually, I'm going to drag this on the outside because I don't want this playing while I'm recording. Oh, my bad. Got to make sure to solo this one part. There we go. And all right. So all I want to do is I just want to cut one of these out. So I'm going to hit Edit, Command E for Mac, Control E if you are on a PC. And then I'm going to consolidate by hitting Command J. And that just flattens it into one sound. All right, cool. And now what I can do is, where do I want to go here? All right, my warp is turned on. I'm going to set this to Complex Pro. And I'm going to click and stretch this out a little bit. Yeah, solo this. Cool. And I turn on an EQ. Let's get rid of some of those highs. There we go. Now I'm going to freeze and flatten that, and what that'll do is it'll apply this inside of the audio. So this way I can now drag this sound in, and I've got my sample. So basically I just was able to manipulate it to my taste. And there we go. And now I can go to the bass sound, and I'll just drag this in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and apply that EQ here again. And I'm going to lower the volume here. There we go. Not so much distortion happening. Cool. Everyone with me so far? Let's see here. Oh, I'm glad that that we've got a good broadcast going on. Awesome. Cool. And just checking out your comments real quick. So with that, I'm going to leave this resampling track because I'll probably use it for other sounds as well. But that was how we got our bass sound. So now what we're going to do here is make sure that this is tuned correctly, all right? So we know that the main pitch is when you hit the main note is C3. So you basically want this note to be a C. That way when you play all the keys, you're going to get the note for each sound. So there's a couple ways to do that, and I'll show you both of my approaches. So what I'm going to do here is let me just duplicate this EQ, and I'm going to turn these off. And I'm just using this so that I can see the spectrum here. So as you can see here, it tells me down here what note is being played. So seems like it's like around a G, and if I wanted to go to a C, it need to pop up right around here. So what I will do is I could come in here, I think in my controls, and we've got transpose. I think this is a B, so if I transpose it up one more, I think we've got a C. So now what I'll do, the second way of tuning, is this is why I brought in the operator instrument. So basically I just grouped this here, and then I dragged in an operator as another layer. So this, hang tight just a sec. Not sure why. Let me turn this off real quick. And I can tell now that it's the same note, only an octave higher, which is good. I think I still need to bring, there we go. And let's see here. As you can see, this is the high C, and this is a lower C. That makes sense to you guys? So now this is tuned. So I could go ahead and turn this off, and I've got my bass sound. Cool? So let's play with that real quick. So now that we've got a bass tone worth using, at least for me, I'm just going to set this up here, and I think there's going to be some sounds already on here, so we'll see how they line up. Well, that is a nice little accident here, this little percussion here. So but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, pull it outside the loop, because I'm going to cut this up here. Get rid of this, and I'm going to duplicate that. I just kind of have an intuition that I'm going to like this. Let me turn this off here. And we got just a basic bass playing, I think. And it seems that this note is too low. So I'm going to raise this note here. This is playing pretty low here. And I'm turning this on here, this little button, so that way I can hear the notes. Hope you can hear that. I'm gonna, actually, I don't think I need that EQ8 now that the volume's sorted out. And I'll get rid of this as well. And I've got a utility. So basically you're seeing like all these effects that are already in my tracks. I set up my tracks so when I have a new one, I've already got these laid in here. And I believe you can go in, let's see here. Yeah, you can right click on your track and save as default MIDI track. You can go to an audio track and do the same thing. So that's what I did. Cool. So now I'm going to turn the utility up just a little bit so I can hear the bass. And cool. And I can cut out some of these bass sounds here to do some placement. So let me solo this real quick and let's see what sounds we got. Like this right here. So I want to find a place to pop that. So let me get rid of all the rest. It's going to be this. So let's see here. Maybe turn this up a little bit too. And since it's kind of low, I'm not really too worried about the tone on this one, but I may change it later. We're getting a little dirt here. Let me add a, I'm going to add a limiter here. Let's see. Here we go. So and once again, very easily we can just kind of copy this across. Cool. So let's see. Got like a real basic thing happening. Let's hear what we got going on with the snare and clap. I'm just going to do, let's see here. Looking for a little panning control. Here we go. So I'm going to pan one just a little bit over to the right and the other one a little bit to the left. Cool. And I'm going to add a little bit of reverb to that, just to give it a little bit of space. Doesn't need much. And I'm pulling out those low frequencies as well. If you guys are enjoying this, just let me know in the chat room, so I know that I'm not just working here on my own. If you guys are following, and also if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Because as you get into producing, you kind of get your head into a tunnel and kind of forget that there's other people watching. So I don't want to do that to you guys. Let's take a look at some of these percussion sounds. Actually, you know what I want to do first? I want to work on that kick. So this here, I just want this for some subtle kicks. All right, so what I'm going to do is turn this on just so I can hear each sound. Oh. I think it's this middle one that I want. I'm going to set it to 16ths. And this is where I'm kind of going to put in some subtleties. So let's just solo the kicks here for a second. I'll start with one bar and then I'll extend it. So now I'm going to turn this down a little bit and then just slowly bring it back up. So it just gives like this subtle under rhythm to the whole thing, which is something for me is really important. So got that happening there. I'm going to turn the clap down here a bit. Oh. I'm liking that a little bit better. And then I can turn this down overall just a few dB. Like so. We'll get into our hats here. Let's hear what the hats are doing. And I'm not even sure if that's the hat that we want to use for this. So let's play with this real quick. I'm just using the up-down arrow to move this to different samples. All right. Let me check this out within the context. So I like this, the one that was on, and I may add just a couple little things here across the board. The first thing I want to do is actually want to try doing fade out or kind of gating this a little bit. So that kind of shortens the length a little bit. And I can raise the volume a little as well. Is this just naturally grooving, or am I, well, I'd have to say it's not naturally grooving. It's all about placement. The thing that makes a song groove is really the placement of the sounds and how things are going together. Actually, this is a little bit rigid right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our packs here, into swing and groove. And I tend to like this SP1200 groove. And then I can listen, just turn this on here, to different groove settings. At least I should be able to listen. For some reason, I'm not hearing it, and I'm not sure why. Let's see. I know it's not corrupt, even though I'm giving that. Let me try another. I could even try like a hip hop rhythm. Well, I'm just not going to win during this broadcast. Well, okay. I know that, well, let me try swing as well. Very strange. Okay, well, I apologize that you're not able to hear it, but as you click on these, you normally are able to hear it. This one here kind of gives me the groove that I want. So I'll just drag this down, and I'm going to put timing to 100% so it completely follows this. And I'm going to set a little bit of random as well. That way the notes fall just a little bit off sometimes, and that can be helpful. And velocity, let's set that to about 60%. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight all of these. Now sometimes I'll leave the kicks alone, but in this case I'm going to try to groove all the stuff here that we've got. So first I got to double click on one and then highlight all these. And then down here where it says groove, I can just choose that groove that I made. You could have as many different grooves as you want. But anyway, I'm going to back off the velocity a bit. And as I turn up the random, you'll hear things sound really drunk. But it gives you kind of an idea of what the random does. As you can hear, it just goes really nutso. But you can sometimes just set the right amount of random so it gives just a little more groove. Like so. Okay, so the question might be how the audio and MIDI are groove aligned. Well, because everything that I've created has been lined up on a 16th or 8th note grid. And so everything lines up because Ableton will line up your MIDI. Now, as far as your drum loops, why this lines up here is because since this is a short loop, Ableton will automatically sync up the tempo of the loop if it's a properly cut loop. If it's a longer loop, then you're going to need to go in and warp the parts, and that should help the groove to work better. Oh, yeah, as far as the groove pool here, yeah, it was applied to all the tracks. That's why, well, not all of them, but all of these tracks up here, all these MIDI tracks, it was applied to. And that was just as simple as double clicking on one, highlighting all the tracks, and then down in the properties, you can choose your groove. This I didn't apply the groove to, which doesn't really matter too much. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to check out some of these percussion sounds now. All right, I like this. I'm just not sure where I want to place it. So that's a cool sound. Like this here. I think what I'm going to do is drag this to the hi-hats. Cool. I think I'll drag that as well. Cool. So the next thing I'm going to work on is kind of the hi-hats here. Let's see. There, I like that. Sound here. Yeah, I'll turn this on here. And I'll just have this. Cool. This sound here, probably not. I think I'm going to try a 8th note triplet with this one here. So I'm just going to go into 8th note and then go into triplet. And that across. Now this might sound crappy or not because it might be too loud. And it's definitely too loud. So I'll highlight this. So what I'm going to do is actually get rid of all this and just have it come in like so. I'm just highlighting and duplicating, guys. It's nothing that crazy. And then I'm going to find this and I'm going to turn it down so it's real subtle. And if I go over to my controls, I can a little further than I want, back it off a little bit. Does it make sense to apply the groove to the bass line also? Yeah, I mean, if you think about a live band, I mean, every person playing an instrument is not going to be like right on the grid. It gives that natural feel. Now you may want to apply like less to that. So you may want to create another groove and make it a little more subtle. So you would make the timing maybe 25% or 30% and experiment with that. But if you've got the groove swinging pretty well, even if the bass is kind of on the grid, you're going to mostly be fine. Let's see if I can. It's a little bit later. I just want it to come in on the second one and the fourth one. Just like that. All right, I'm going to now work a little bit on the bass here. We're coming up on our hour, so this really moved quickly. And I didn't really get into a lot of, the layering and manipulation. I did teach you a little bit about the tuning, Let me play with this bass just a little bit. I do this. Put it an octave higher. And I'm going to work my pitch bend here. Real subtle there. Back to notes. And now I'm going to highlight this and duplicate over here. And I'm going to remove the note here, so it's just going to be on the tail end of the fourth bar. Like so. Doesn't have to be too complicated, and that's what I'm trying to show you guys here is an idea can come together pretty quickly. So since we're at the hour, if you guys have some questions for me, maybe I can address those within this little groove to help you guys out specifically, because, you know, now I'll just carry on and it'll be kind of for my own pleasure type of thing. But if you have any questions, let me know. Something that I like to do, I'll show you, is I like to run, for example, my hi-hats. I can come over here and I can open up. And basically I've got, you know, all my different levels here. So this can come down quite a bit. And for example, here, I can apply, I'll show you what I like to apply here on some of my hi-hats, just to add a little bit more subtle groove. Cool, Kenny. I can maybe carry on for a little bit longer. Like the basis of what you put the groove on. Well, in general, most of the time, you're going to want some groove on your hi-hats, some groove on your snare, so it's not hitting right on the thing. You know, you want certain things to be a little early or a little bit late to give it a type of rhythm to it that you can feel. So it's really percussion is a good thing to put a groove on as well. Sometimes the kick can stay like real steady, makes it easier for the DJ to mix it. But other times I don't really worry about that, and I just If the stick sounds good with a little groove, then I just go for it. I mean, there's no real clear-cut rule, so I hope that answers your question a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to pop on just a simple delay. I'll turn it up 50%, and I just put it on 1/16. And maybe you can hear that little ghost of a sound, like just right after it. It kind of goes, did it, but subtly. I kind of like that little shadow sound on my hi-hats. Now, once again, this is stylistic, so I'm kind of getting carried away on my own personality, my own, you know, type of sound. But for me, that helps it groove a little bit more. Now there might be some sounds that I might want to resample, like I was telling you before. Let's see, where's my resampling track? Kind of for, oh, there it is. So I've got certain things here, like I've got my head candy and delay and reverb, so I can really play with some of that stuff over here. Let me turn up some reverb. Oh. A little reverb there. A little delay. And so a little head candy. Check this out here. Pop this on. So basically, you run things through here, and then you can resample it over here. I just that sort of thing. And then these can be like little background things that you do in your track. That makes sense? Is there something wrong with your mic? Yes, there is something wrong with the mic, which I explained earlier. In order for you to be able to hear my screen, I had to reroute the way the audio works on the computer. So that causes a little bit of distortion. So the config, this. It could just be the mic. It could, I mean, it's probably a combination of the mic and my my audio setup, because I had to do a little finagling in order for you to hear the sound on the screen. Let's see here, groover swing on hi-hats, Yeah, Kenny, you're right about that, I think. So the reason that you would use resampling is in order to kind of tweak a sound. You know, I could come over here, and let's say I drag in filter delay, a little bit of panning, and let's go with the grain delay here. And turn the feedback up. Turn the feedback up on these. And let's get a good reverb going on. And now when I play these sounds, all the effects and stuff, I can record those and then cut those up if I like certain things. So it's just kind of a way to, you can either do it randomly or you can do it very purposefully. I kind of do a combination of both. So now I've got these sounds here. The original sound is just this. Let's see if I turn all this stuff off. Oh, and if I pull all these effects down too, all the return tracks. Really simple sounds, as you can hear. Like, so just little things like that can turn into stuff like this. And what you can even do, which is kind of fun, is you can duplicate it and you can say, you can layer these two sounds together to get a more complicated sound, right? So there you go. That's just a little sound design trick. And I do that a lot with my production in order to get more interesting sounds happening in my song. How will I use it? Well, this is obviously more than a one-bar groove. Well, what I'll do, and what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create the basis for a song. So my goal is to create something in here that sounds interesting enough on loop that it creates like a foundation of a song. And then I will take that and stretch it out for 5 minutes and then start working on where I want the breaks to happen and different things like that. Different sections of the song to build the whole song. That was Linda who asked that. So I hope that answers your question there. Let's see here. So I'm going to ditch this percussion stuff here, and I'll use some of these weird sounds and see where the placement works in the song. And I'll probably want to turn these both down. Everybody all right? If you guys want to go, or if you guys want me to just do a Q&A for you guys, I'm happy to stop this process. Because some of this, there's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason. You just kind of instinctually kind of go for it and see what happens, right? And this here, I would probably want like some sort of a reverb or something. But I like the timing on that. So this here, I would probably want to come in here and edit the volume so there's a, there's more of a fade happening here. Because we don't want this to, we don't want this to overwhelm the whole song. And yeah, let's go ahead and put a bit of reverb on this audio track here. Add a little pre-delay just so the original sound right in the beginning is dry. And I'll add like, let's go with about 6 seconds, 22%. Low cut, yep. And then I'll just drop this in here as well. So. You get that? So just a little bit of manipulation and layering and stuff like that. Obviously, you can add drones and stabs in different parts to keep building your song, but this gives you an idea of how we haven't touched one synth really except just to tune our sounds. There was something else that I wanted to add though. And if you guys are still in here, still paying attention, go ahead and just type something in the chat window just so I can see what kind of audience I have. Make sure you guys aren't getting bored. But what I'm going to show you here is a great way to tune your samples. And I'm not going to tune the samples here that I have in Splice. Instead, I'm going to use some percussion. So I've got percussion right here with a bunch of samples. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a program called Mixed in Key real quick. Hopefully. Give me just a second to launch this thing. I don't want you to sit here while I have, oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. So let me just grab this percussion folder, drag it in here. And what it's going to do is it's going to tell me the key of each of these samples, so which is assigned by a number. So if I come over, and some of you guys might already know this, but for those of you that don't, this can be really powerful. Show you the Camelot wheel here. I'm sure this is going a little bit slow just because I'm broadcasting, so hang tight. Okay, so, and this will clear up in just a second. There we go. So this is the Camelot wheel. As you can see, it assigns numbers to different keys, right? do is by using Mixed in Key, the program that I just opened, and drag things in, it will assign a number to each of the sounds. Now what's cool about this is, let's say you have a sound that's 12B, you'll automatically know that as with any other sound that is 12B, any sound that is 12A, any sound that is 11B, and any sound that is 1B. So it gives you a lot of flexibility to make sure that the sounds that you're dragging in are automatically harmonizing properly with other sounds. Now, of course, you can change the pitch of sounds and different things like that. But this could be really powerful when you're moving quickly and you're going through a sample library. So let me get out of here real quick. And pop this open. And as you can see, it's assigned them to different sounds here. So yeah, I could basically pop these in and know, for example, this Congo sound here and this electric Congo are in the same key. Things like that can be really, really helpful. So these doesn't specify a key, so that they're pretty generic, which is fine. But look, you can really tune a lot of your samples. It doesn't just have to be percussion. So I find that can be really, really useful. Oh, cool. Glad some of you guys are still here. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this groove as it is, I think, and just I was just trying to show you how to build a groove, not to create a whole song in this. And we're getting close to 90 minutes or whatever. So what I'm going to do here is I'll answer any questions that you have for the next 10 or so minutes. And if you don't have any questions, I'm going to call it a day. And I hope you got something out of watching this process. So I'll just wait for a little bit to see if any questions come in on this. And while I'm doing that, I'll just play this little groove that we made. Yeah, the Camelot wheel is absolutely related to the circle of fifths. That's absolutely correct. It's used by DJs mostly, right? You figure out what key a song is in, and that way you can, when you play your next song, you know that the melodies and things like that will match. But it's also a very cool trick to use it for some of your samples in order to see what's up. Yeah, you guys are welcome. Awesome, Robin and Alex. I hope this helped you guys. And once again, if you have any last minute questions, let me know. Otherwise, we will call this a day. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to spend with me here. On the page, as you can see, I just have a little thing that says, want to create an EP in 30 days. And this is one of my courses that's launching in July. And I've already done 2 launches, and it's been very, very successful. It's a very intense 30-day course where you get workbooks, videos, homework, and interaction with me every day, and interaction with a private group. If you want, sign up for that just to learn more. It's not going to cost you anything to sign up. And if you guys decide that you want to take it, you can actually try it out for 7 days for just $1. So that's my big pitch on that. So I'm not going to go much further than that. I mainly made this to give you guys value. But if creating an EP in the month of July sounds good to you, go ahead and click that and just learn more. And feel free to ask me any questions about that. Okay, guys? A little advanced for me, but learned quite a bit. Yeah, I know that this can be can seem a little bit advanced, and there's a fine balance between me doing too much and too little. But there will be the replay for this. So, Linda, if you got anything out of this and some things are confusing you, feel free to go back and watch this while I leave it up and available. Yeah. Thanks, Rebby. Rebby's one of my students from January, and she was a different student because she wasn't doing the same kind of music as everyone else. So I worked with her really hard to help her finish more of like, it was more like almost like an ambient and chill out, a little bit new age, I guess, type of sound. Very, very cool. But it was different than the standard stuff. So I was really happy to have worked with Rebby and that she got success out of the course. So yeah, good to see you in there. And it looks like you guys got your money's worth, which was free. So with that, I'm gonna call it a day, guys. Really thank you all for showing up and taking your time. I know there's a lot of things you can do with your day. So, and I wasn't even 100% sure how well this would go over. So I hope it went over well. And I promise you guys, I'll get a better mic in the future if you want me to continue doing these sorts of things. And I'll see you guys next time. So take care till then.